ultimately, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
खत्म गया भाई बचाओ बचाओ जल्दी बचाओ बचाओ रुक जा रुक 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 अरे कुछ ना रुक जल्दी बचाओ मजाक कर रहे भाई मजाक कर रहे कैमरा लगा कैमरा इधर जाग तो गया हूं बेहोश करे जो हमने जाग तो गया हूं पैर में ना लगी तू बैठ एक मिनट प्रदीप बचाओ कुछ ना बचाओ मजाक कर रहे भाई प्रदीप देख कैमरा मैं बेहोश नहीं हुआ। ये सही तो है कौन यार हमारा एक मैसेज रही है मैसेज होता है हमारा कि किसी के साथ ना बैठ कायम लगी इधर पैर में कैसे लग गई काय तो लगी है आप तो टच हुए ना नॉर्मल भाई हमारा एक मैसेज रही वीडियो हमारी ले लस्सी
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay. Z from Land said that was funny, Queen. First of all, he had zero survival skills. He's sitting there waiting for his turn. Sir, you should have been out of the window at that point. Okay. Also nefarious. Okay, so everyone please get the likes up. Remember, it doesn't cost you anything to like and share. All right. And so that all being said, shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. Hello. About damn time. Nessie X. All hell no's in the house. All right. Leon is here. G from the land. Political wins. Deronda. Kevin Witter is here. Pearly. All right. So let's get into it, everybody. That crazy bitch Aries said, loyal royal gang. You already know. Okay. Antonio Blue Hawk is in here. Okay. Shout out to everybody. So with that all being said, let's get this party started. Let's get this party started, beloveds. First of all, hold on. Let me pull something up real quick. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention. Listen, let me shout out Gene Deal for using the Queen's talking points. Shout out to Gene. Y'all know I like Big Gene. Would have had him on the show, but y'all know I don't pay for interviews. Well, that all being said, let me shout Gene out because here's the thing. You all know for the past month or so, I've been telling you that Diddy's going to be indicted. Okay, mid to late September. And how do I come about that? I told you all because after the jury's been in panel, the grand jury, it's 90 to 120 days until the indictment usually falls. And that's just with my expertise in criminal justice, of which I have 2 degrees in. Okay, so please pay attention. So anyway, previously Big Gene said a different date, but now he's saying exactly what the Queen said. And let me just play this real quick. So shout out to Gene. All right. Hold on.
An extra $3 and $4 grand a month by typing.
Right. Clearly, Diddy.
This is something you believe her. The plea bargain, or see if they're going to give him that.
Right.
Hold on, beloved.
Go past 100.
Now, first of all, I want you all to pay attention because Murad Morale did a video and he said, P. Diddy's arrest date confirmed. Okay, and then he gives the credit to Gene Deal. I'm sorry, but the credit goes to the Queen because everybody heard it here first. Now, I know Big Gene watches my channel, so that's where he got it from. But nonetheless, shout out to him. Okay, here we go.
I believe it's coming in September.
September.
Because you got to realize the grand jury intervened. They may have 45 days, 60 days, 90 days. They never usually go past 120 days.
Couple months.
They got enough information, and they probably got enough stuff that he's probably willing to plea bargain or see if they're going to give him that.
Okay, so y'all heard it, but just remember you heard it here first, okay? No matter who uses the Queen's talking points, you always know that you heard it here first. All right? That's what you know. Now, here's the initial video where I first said it. Let me just share this on the screen, honey, because y'all go give me my credit. Now, I don't mind people using my talking points, but when you do, you can shout me out, because I know I shout out Big Gene when I use his interview clips. Okay, y'all see that video? What date was that done? Because Gene just said this a couple of days ago. So what date was this? I'm sorry. 3 weeks ago. Please pay attention. That wasn't the first time I said it. That was just the first time I put the title in a video. All right, please pay attention. Okay, y'all gonna give me my credit whether you want to or not. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so with that I've been said, Diddy, you're going down, beloved. Okay, so Rodney Jones has spoken out in an exclusive interview with Rolling Stone. We're going to get into that in a second, but before we delve into it, let's talk about Trump, because Lord have mercy. There is another indictment. Okay, so what they've really done is they have revised the initial indictment. And here's why. Like up, everyone, please like and share. Now, here's what's going on. Listen to this. Okay, Trump faces revised 2020 election interference charges. Okay, now this came out this morning, just a few hours ago, so this is in fact breaking news. U.S. prosecutors have issued revised charges against Donald Trump, the former president, for his attempts to interfere in the 2020 election after losing the contest. The updated wording tries to navigate a Supreme Court ruling that presidents have broad immunity for criminal prosecution for official acts. The ruling had thrown its case into doubt. You see, here's the thing. Remember, they just ruled that presidents are immune from prosecution. If they did something in the while they were in duty, while they were in the White House sitting as president. Now, so they're saying Trump wasn't the president when he did this, so don't even think about it, Trump. All right. So they go on to say, Trump denies accusations that he pressured officials to reverse the results, knowingly spread lies abroad about the election fraud, and sought to exploit a riot at the U.S. Capitol to delay the certification of Joe Biden's victory. Now, it appears unlikely the case. Okay, and other criminal cases that he faces, appears that they will reach court before the next election on November the 5th. Now, the revised indictment brought by Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith leaves in place the 4 crimes Trump is accused of committing: conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, attempting to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. But these now relate to Trump's status as a political candidate rather than a sitting president. Woo, Trump. You in trouble. Okay. Now, Trump has previously pleaded not guilty to all charges. He wrote in a post on his Truth Social platform that the fresh indictment was an effort to resurrect a dead witch hunt and distract the American people from this year's election. He called for it to be dismissed immediately. Trump, this isn't going anywhere, beloved. Sorry to tell you. Now, his campaign has not responded to a BBC request for comment, but a source close to his legal team told CBS News, the BBC's U.S. partner, that the second indictment was not a surprise, saying this is what the government is supposed to do based on what the Supreme Court did. Okay, it does change our position that we believe Smith's case is flawed and it should be dismissed. You see, here's the thing. Trump appointed several of those Supreme Court justices, did he not? So that's likely why they came up with that new rule, so they can try to save his arse. It's not going to work. Now, the new charging document, which was slimmed down from 45 to 35 pages, reworks the language of the allegations to respond to last month's ruling on presidential immunity by the Supreme Court. It argues that Trump acted as a private citizen, not as a president, when he undertook the alleged scheme to sway the election. They say the defendant had no official responsibilities related to the certification proceeding, but he did have a personal interest as a candidate in being named the winner of the election. This is the new line that they added in the indictment. Now, another new line refers to a lawsuit filed by Trump's campaign in Georgia. The old language said the suit was filed in his name, but the updated indictment says it was filed in his capacity as a candidate for president. Now, the new document also appears to have removed the charges against Jeffrey Clark, a former DOJ official who played a key role in the so-called fake elector scheme. According to prosecutors, Mark Clark was not named in either indictment, but has been identified in the media through public records. The fresh indictment also drops the claim that Trump tried to pressure DOJ officials to work to overturn his defeat. The high court ruled Trump's direction to justice officials wasn't legal. The special counsel's office said the superseded indictment had been presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in the case. A grand jury is set up by a prosecutor to determine whether there is enough evidence to pursue a prosecution. Now, the new indictment leaves in place several key allegations against Trump, including that he attempted to persuade Vice President Mike Pence to obstruct Mr. Biden's election certification. And that is despite the fact that conversations between Trump and Mr. Pence would probably fall under the category of official acts for which Trump has immunity from prosecution, according to the Supreme Court ruling. Now, this revised indictment showed that Mr. Smith interpreted the Supreme Court ruling to mean that his case could still move forward, as Professor Daniel Richman, a constitutional law expert at Columbia Law School, says. But whether it would satisfy the Supreme Court's presidential immunity framework remains unclear. Professor Richman told the BBC, saying the court was painfully vague as to what private conduct done by your president can be charged criminally. And then they go on to talk about more of Trump's legal issues, and I'm not going to get into that because we'd be here all day. Okay, let's not forget that he also has some issues about the classified documents and all of that. And on Monday, Mr. Smith's team appealed against the decision of a Florida judge to dismiss the latter case. Judge Eileen Cannon had done so on the grounds that the mere existence of special counsels violated the U.S. Constitution. Okay. So anyway, Trump, don't even try it. All right? Don't even try it. Now, Greta says, unfortunately, this new indictment is a little too late. Trump should never have been allowed to be on the ballot again after January 6th. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, beloved. Okay? No lies detected. But, you know, Trump has the complexion for the protection. Okay, and so that all been said. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk about Kabami for a second. Okay, because why are they? Kabami has flip-flopped, and she's now embracing the idea of a border wall after dubbing it previously as a vanity project when Trump came up with it. I want y'all to pay attention. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I find it all nefarious. Dan says also Trump has sentencing for November, a New York case, September the 18th. Yes, I have told you all that. And he was trying to get it postponed, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Okay, thank you for your contribution, Dan, beloved, and for your donation to the channel. Now let's get into it because Kabami, what are you up to? What is Kabami up to? I can't with her or Trump. I'm sorry. I just can't bring myself to do it. Here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
Of millions of dollars on building a wall along the southern border. I wonder where she got that idea. The wall was something she once called, quote, un-American when Trump was in office. She also called the wall a vanity project for Trump. Let's watch.
This issue is about a vanity project for this president. Right. And it is a problem of his own making. Right. And listen, when I travel this country, folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on, instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't gonna stop them. No.
And here's another example from her 2019 CNN town hall. Let's watch.
This administration has decided to vilify them and to trade on them for the sake of this president's medieval vanity project called a wall. Let me be very clear. I'm not going to vote for a wall under any circumstances, and I do support border security. And if we want to talk about that, let's do that.
Here is how Harris spoke about the border during last week's DNC.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. Last year, Joe and I brought together Democrats and conservative Republicans to write the strongest border bill in decades. The Border Patrol endorsed it. But Donald Trump believes a border deal would hurt his campaign. So he ordered his allies in Congress to kill the deal. Well, I refuse to play politics with our security, and here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
Axios writes, quote, "It's the latest example of Harris flip-flopping on her past liberal positions, such as supporting Medicare for all and banning fracking. To be fair, Harris's immigration policy still differs from Trump. She has opposed Trump's policies on mass deportation and family separation." Reacting to the Axios story online, Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, wrote, quote, "Kamala Harris is fake. She wants to build the border wall. She could start right now." How Kamala Harris learned to stop worrying and love the wall is, I guess, the story here. Does go to show how far Democrats have moved back, I guess, toward the right or in the other direction on immigration, given the massive win that issue is for Donald Trump when you poll people. But, you know, I remember a time when Democrats were describing everything that the Trump administration did on immigration as fascist or kids in cages, et cetera. And then there was mostly a continuation in a lot of those policies as Americans continue to think not enough is being done to stem the flow of illegal immigration.
I think that Kamala Harris being responsible seemingly for this idea and making it popular again is just not accurate, because this came out of the bipartisan border security bill. There were concessions made from either side. The border wall came into the bill from Republicans, and in exchange, the Democrats got things they wanted in the bill. That's how bipartisan compromise works. To say that she's, you know, copying Trump's homework or adopting Trump's policy in some way is ridiculous. Democrats in Congress supported this bill, and that was a compromise they made to get the construction of the wall in there. And leftists have long joked that, you know, Democrats should say, yes, we're going to fix the tax policy. We're going to ensure that corporations and the wealthy few are taxed at a reasonable rate like they are in every other modern country, but build the wall for them, give them something. And so this isn't Kamala Harris suddenly saying a border wall is a great idea. This is her supporting the bill that was a compromise in Congress.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know if they're so up in arms about it.
I mean, but we heard she called the border wall a vanity project. She was against the wall itself in previous interviews. And, you know, from my standpoint, we need, you know, some spending, obviously, on borders. What we mostly need is a reform to the process. You know, I don't know that.
Now, with that all being said, let me tell you something. This is all lies and BS. At the end of the day, whether she agreed to it or not, whether it's the Democrats or her, the bottom line is there's not going to be any wall. They're not going to build any wall. Okay. And for them to say that they are is all lies and BS. And here's why. Because listen, Biden announces new policy shielding undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation. Again, he is trying to save those who came here illegally. And this happened in June of 2024. So did anyone pay attention to this? Because these are the sorts of things that they do in the dark of night when no one's really paying attention. President Joe Biden is taking executive action to protect undocumented spouses of American citizens, a move that would shield about 500,000 immigrants from deportation. Okay, the White House announced the election year policy on Tuesday. This is back in June again of this year, framing it as a new action to keep families together. Okay, NBC News reported last week that action protecting the spouses was likely to be announced soon after urging for immigration advocates and Democratic lawmakers, and as the president courts Latino voters in crucial battleground states. Courts Latino voters. See, that's why they let all these illegals in, like we've been telling you. We've been telling you consistently that they let all these illegals over here, the Democrats, that is, to have them come and usurp the vote. All right, but now they won our votes because they got Kabami pretending she's all black and all that. Okay, I'm sorry. Please make it all make sense. Now, y'all go and vote for this fool if you want to, because that's what she is. She's not the same type of fool as Trump, but a fool nonetheless, okay? All right, and sitting here talking about they're going to build a wall at the end of the day, but y'all just signed something to let people come in here, okay, and to protect the people who've come here legally. I just have one question.
They think we are fools? Do they think we are fools?
Okay, please make it all make sense. With that all been said, Plies had a thing or two to say about the people who were going in on him for trying to tell black folk, or specifically black men, to vote for Kabami. Here's what he had to say.
We never thought we'd see a black person, period. She's not black. She's not black. All right. Okay. She's a person of color. All right. So let's just say that. People of color, to get in the position that she's in right now, is not no easy feat. And it's not something that America thought they would fucking ever see. Let's do that. Y'all ain't got to say she's black. She's a person of color. Brown, tan, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it, that's saying she's not black. Whatever that is, she's a person of color. And you know, like I know, you ain't never thought that you would see nobody, person of color, woman, in a position to become the president of the United States. The hate that she has to deal with being a person of color. Y'all want her also to be a vice president, to do shit that vice presidents ain't never ever did. Y'all fucking tripping, man. Jermaine Dupri, she's not a person of color. What the fuck is she then? Oh my God, what is she? Somebody tell me, what is she? She's not a person of color. What is she? You said that's not a reason to elect her? You know, you're right. That's not a reason to elect her. I'm a person. I'm not saying you should elect her because she's a person of color. I think that you should elect her because she's the best person qualified for the job. Matter of fact, she's more qualified. That's what I'm saying. Qualified? This is her life. Donald Trump is a real estate person.
Hey, it's real simple with me. Until Kamala Harris go to jail, until Kamala Harris become a convicted felon, until Kamala Harris fire corruption 6 times her and her company, until Kamala Harris is impeached twice, until Kamala Harris is indicted 4 times, until Kamala Harris is found liable for sexual abuse, until Kamala Harris is found guilty, a motherfucker got to pay $300 until Kamala Harris start a motherfucking election, until Kamala Harris try to overthrow a motherfucking election, until Kamala Harris is married 3 motherfuckers, until Kamala Harris have 5 kids from 3 men, until Kamala Harris do any of that, she's a better motherfucker to me. Now you do whatever you want to do with your motherfucker, but I'm not voting for no motherfucking rich white man to be able to do whatever the fuck to do. I'm just not doing it. I don't hate motherfucking women that much. And I damn sure don't hate a black woman that much. So you can vote for a motherfucker gay, or you can vote for the motherfucker KKK. You vote for whatever motherfucker you want to vote for. That's your motherfucking business. But Trump been telling you 17, he gonna show you that motherfucker plan. Has he shown you yet? He been telling you since 2017 that coming in 2 weeks, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be beautiful. Has he showed you yet? He told you he's gonna overturn Obamacare. Did he do it yet? He told you Mexico gonna pay for that funk ass wall over there. Did he pay for it yet? He told you gonna raise minimum wage. Did he do it yet? He was gonna lower the price on prescription drugs. Did he do it yet? But she need to explain something. She don't ever talk about her pot. Yes, she do. You just don't want a motherfucker. That lady told you she trying to get $25,000 a month to buy a home. Trying to build 3 million homes. Trying to lower the drug prices for everybody, not just the elderly. Trying to get tax cut to the minimum. That like trying to no tax on tips or whatever the hell it is. That lady telling you what she trying to do. You just don't want a motherfucking head.
Okay, you all heard what Ply said, and mind you, he said MFing about 30 times. I counted. Okay, I had to add all those bleeps. So I'm sorry if you can't speak for 4 minutes. That video was only 4 minutes long. Let's not forget that Jermaine Dupri spoke for about 2 of those minutes. So Ply said MFing about 30 times in 2 minutes. I'm sorry if anybody curses that much in that short span of time. You're an idiot. You can't come up with intellectual words, or you can't speak without cursing. Do you have to use curse words to put emphasis on your point? That's just idiotic to me. I'm sorry. It's a no for me, Ply. This is all I'm saying. It's a no for me. Okay. So with that all being said, Perla said he can go sit down. Yes. Okay. Greta said, man, shut the F up. What you talking about? Exactly. Okay. A whole idiot. Now let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg real quick. And yes, I said Zuckerberg. Okay. Him and this non-censorship BS that he's trying to get people to fall for, the banana in the tailpipe, after he censored everybody last election cycle about that venom. Now he wants to say he's not going to do it. I already told you all about this, but let's hear what they have to say about it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Here we go. Hold on. Let me put up my little overlay.
Michael Schellenberg, CBR Chair of Censorship, Politics, and Free Speech at the University of Austin, and Kara Frederick, former Facebook analyst and Heritage Foundation Research Fellow. You know, Michael, this could mean one of several things. Zuckerberg is becoming disillusioned with the Democrat Party, or he's growing a conscience, or does he think he's going, that Trump is going to win? And if he does, why now?
Hey, it's great to be with you, Judge. It's a
Thank
great
you.
question. I mean, I think it's clear that Zuckerberg has a legal obligation to maximize shareholder interest. So he's clearly calculated that repositioning Facebook as a politically neutral company is the right thing for him now. You saw him unburdening himself of some of the baggage that has weighed down Facebook in recent years. You know, it's important to remember that, you know, Mark Zuckerberg had a very strong free speech orientation after the election of Trump. You know, he said, even, you know, as a Jewish American, I still defend the right of free speech, including Holocaust denial. After NGOs and other groups led a boycott against Facebook, he then imposed much more censorship, including censorship that was demanded by government agencies. So I think it's a great moment. I think one of the lessons is just that the price of free speech is eternal vigilance. These guys had a sweeping program that involved FBI, DHS. It was election interference, by the way, by FBI, CIA, former CIA officials. So I think we're all more aware of it now. We need to remain aware of it, but it's quite the scandal, and I think that this hopefully signals that such a thing won't happen again.
Oh, well, Kara, you know, is this a shift to the right? Do they think that there may be consequences as a result of what happened, as Michael talked about the shareholders' interests?
Judge, I actually don't. And I would caution people on our side who want to hold big tech accountable from taking a victory lap, because Mark Zuckerberg is not dumb. He is absolutely hedging his bets here, because what he's done is he's assessed, well, I'll say, a regulatory landscape, and he's determined, hey, I'm not going to really face any real consequences for my platform eagerly acquiescing to government demands to censor free speech of Americans. Look at the Supreme Court. In June, they had a decision and they rejected the state's attempt to permanently stop the collusion between the Biden administration and big tech companies. They kicked it back to the states. And Mark knows Democrats are liking this right now, so they're not going to do anything about it. And then Republicans, establishment Republicans, all they're going to do is offer another strongly worded letter. They're not going to do anything. And meanwhile, Facebook is going to call a defiant Trump holding up his fist in the air just after he's been shot, misinformation. So it's the same old, and he's hedging his bets. They're rinsing and repeating, and they're just covering it with a veneer of compunction that I don't think Zuckerberg really means. He's just strategic.
Michael.
She didn't say compunction, did she? Please pay attention. Okay, so that all been said. Mark Zuckerberg needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, shout out to OG Patrice. OG Patrice, beloved. I I'm gonna need you to get up here. I'm gonna need you to get up here. I forgot to email you a time and date, but I'm gonna need you to get up here. Maybe we won't do it today, but we can do it tomorrow, beloved. I'm gonna need you to get up here and tell us what you know about this Kim Porter situation, okay? I'll be emailing you back later. I emailed you once, but I didn't send you a time and date, so we're gonna get that taken care of. Now, let's talk about Rodney Jones. Let's talk about Rodney Jones, honey, because Diddy producer Lil Rod breaks silence on a lawsuit, an exclusive interview with Rolling Stone. He said, it's killing me. All right. So let's get into it. Now, I don't think I'm going to read this whole thing. But basically, he was saying that he feared for his life. He was scared of Diddy. He had to move. And his mother doesn't even know where he lives. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please. Hit that like button if you could be so kind. All right. If you don't like what the Queen's talking about, ask yourself, why are you here? Okay, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones made global headlines in February when he filed a stunningly detailed $30 million sexual assault, trafficking, and racketeering lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in Manhattan's federal court. Jones claimed the hip-hop mogul groped him, secretly drugged him, and forced him to solicit and participate in sexual contact with sex workers while Jones was working with Combs on the Grammy-nominated Love album Off the Grid between September of 2022 and November of 2023. Now, the explosive 73-page suit followed after Combs' longtime partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, accused him of rape, amongst other things. We're going to skip all of that because we already know the details. Now, remember, just days ago, they said that Mr. Jones's lawsuit was pure fiction, and they moved to try to get it dismissed. Now, despite Diddy's denials, Jones has held firm. As his lawsuit moves ahead, he's speaking out in his first interview. He declined to expand on his most sensitive allegations, saying his complaint speaks for itself. But he was willing to discuss working with Diddy and what he describes as damaging fallout from his blockbuster lawsuit. With his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, on the line, Jones says he's largely been in hiding the last few months while undergoing intensive therapy. He attended 50 Cent's Humor and Harmony Festival in Louisiana in early August and recently worked with T-Pain at a Loud Juneteenth show at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. But in his first major interview since the lawsuit, he says he feels otherwise blackballed in the music industry for stepping forward. I don't think he's necessarily, well, he could be blackballed. I think that people are just staying away from him because some of these people were at those parties, those FOs, and some of those people are on the footage, and some of those people know that he saw the footage. And now that he said all these things, well, they're running scared. So goes on to say, now here's what the interviewer asked. Before Diddy and the Love album, how did you view your career? He says, I grew up in the church. My family consists of pastors, singers, musicians, and carpenters. As a kid, 13 years old, I started doing recordings. Before I knew it, it snatched me right out of school. I've worked with some of the greatest artists across different genres. In the gospel industry, the Clark sisters, Mary, Donald Lawrence, Smokey Norfield. In the jazz world, Brian Culbertson. In the hip-hop world, Jack Harlow on Baxter Avenue and T-Pain. I'm a singer and rapper who produces and plays many instruments. Coming into the situation with Diddy, I put everything else on hold. I saw that doing Diddy's project might be able to give me the finances and position to come back to my production company with a little bit more notoriety. When you work on this type of album, it usually comes with respect. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. How did you start working on the Love album? This is what he's asked. The first official meeting was in September of 2022. It was a writing camp at Chalice Recording Studio in Los Angeles. One of my friends was close to his A&R at Love Records and asked me to come work with him. He said he'd give us our own room with musicians coming through to work with us. When I got there, I was so confused because the parking lot was set up like a club. Diddy turned the parking lot into this whole experience. I didn't have my own room and was ready to go home, but I figured I'd at least do some networking. There were free drinks, IV drips, massage therapists, basketball. There were hundreds of people. Now I want you all to pay attention. IV drips. Now we know that Cassie said that her and Diddy were taking IV drips. We also know that I showed you a video of Diddy and his mother taking IV drips. Now in Cassie's lawsuit, she said that they were allegedly taking these IV drips because they'd been on days of binging. Okay, with drugs. All right. So he says, at first, I wasn't even noticed. They tried to put me in a corner. I was like, I'm a musician. I got guitars, keyboards, and basses in my trunk. With me sticking around, people just started asking and needing me more. One time specifically, Diddy asked, yo, I need you to go find some church musicians to play keys to color, up in this song. Or I'm sorry, keys to color up this song. I was sitting right there. I said, I can play it. I grew up playing in the church. We moved to another room and he pulled me to the side and was like, yo, maybe you can put a bridge on this song. You do know what a bridge is. I looked at him like, bro, for him to ask me that, I didn't have the slightest idea. He didn't have the slightest idea of my background. From then on, my services were needed. They gave me the task of training all the engineers and dealing with all the producers. So with that all being said, he goes on to say, or the interviewer says, what was it like working with Diddy? He says his attitude is like 0 to 100 in seconds. Sometimes he's asking for something and he doesn't even know what he's asking for. He'd be like, yo, turn those little trinkles up. I would look at him like, okay, the trinkles, let's see. I just constantly keep eye contact and I can see when I'm turning up something if it's right. I'd get that nod. I started to develop his ear too. He liked that. I understood music theory and professional terms. I had to understand what he's trying to say and translate it. That's how we became close. He's not a musician. He's more like an executive. He likes options. I figured, okay, I'm going to add 10 to 20 extra parts on here. And then when he comes in, I'll mute everything and play them one by one. And this will give him a plate to choose from. It was giving him options. It got to the point that out of all those hundreds of people at the writing sessions, when he went home to Miami, it was only myself and his A&R executive, DeForest Taylor, who flew back with him. So this is apparently how he caught Diddy's attention. Now, your lawsuit alleges a pattern of abuse. When did that allegedly start? The interviewer asked. He says, one of the first moments that was very uncomfortable was around Thanksgiving. Me and DeForest were the only two flown to Miami. It's Thanksgiving Day, and he has a table outside for the employees. He's inside, and he waves me in. I'm a little nervous, but excited to be brought into the family dinner. I felt privileged to be sitting there. He introduced me and asked me to bless the food. I'm trying to talk with people sitting next to me, but I notice everyone is saying very little. I realized they're probably all under NDAs. I don't like to sit uncomfortable too long, so I went into the studio. About 10 minutes later, Diddy comes rolling in with Young Miami and others following behind. Assistants were lighting candles, giving us cocktails. He went into his bathroom attached to the studio and summoned me and DeForest. He asked me if I had a $100 bill. There were 3 white lines on the sink. He was asking me to do something I'd never done before. It was awkward. He was trying to get me to do some drugs. I don't want to judge anybody, but that's at the top of my list of things I'm afraid to do. At the top of mine too, honey, please pay attention. Now, how did you describe Diddy? He says he's a monster. He'll do whatever is necessary to get exactly what he wants. He doesn't take no for an answer. He told me himself, I'll smack my mama. Anybody who can say that even jokingly is a monster. He is nothing to be played with. For a person whose brand is Love Records and changed their name to Love and named their kid Love, he doesn't show love. He's just marketing. Where are you based these days? He says. He replies, for safety reasons, I'm not saying. There have been too many people trying to figure out where I'm at. I moved locations, moved states. Everything is private. My mother doesn't even know where I live. It's been like that pretty much all year. How has your battle with Diddy affected your career and personal life? To which he replies, it's been very, very tough. Because of this lawsuit, most people don't want to come near working with me for whatever reasons, whether they've been in a partnership with Diddy. He calls Diddy Puff. I'm just saying Diddy because I hate saying Puff. But anyway, they've been in partnership with Diddy, or they want to just sit back and see what happens. He's a gatekeeper in the music industry. In this industry, to be successful, you have to have worked with someone like him or Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, or 50 Cent. So many people I've worked with had business deals with him. I reached out to try to get a deal for my album, and people don't want to get involved. The crazy part is when you sign most artists, you have to get in the studio and pay producers. My album is finished. It's mixed and mastered. I just needed someone to come in and help with marketing and the release. I did the hard part, but people are too scared. Whatever their reasons are, they're too scared to touch this. I've been told the best way to do it is independent, but I have no engine. Meanwhile, I can't just go back to working with artists as a musician because I have to take security around me with me when I'm performing. And most musicians don't get paid enough to take security. Then the interviewer says, why do you need security? You're afraid of Diddy? Yes, I got threats. I've never had so much hitting me at once. Diddy has a lot of people on his payroll in a lot of different positions. He's very connected. It's made me nervous traveling, going to hotels. I ask if there's any way to remove my name. The last time I landed in LA, I knew he had connections there. I got off the plane worried. I masked my face and changed my outfits, trying to disguise myself. For sure, I was uncomfortable, paranoid, and afraid. But I told myself, you can't keep living like this. I've got 3 therapists. In his lawsuit, Jones alleges that Diddy threatened him with physical harm. Everybody saw the video of Cassie. This is who I'm dealing with, he says. So no more touring with other musicians, the interviewer asked. He says, I did a gig at the Hollywood Bowl with T-Pain in June with a full orchestra. I was the band director, scored the orchestra parts, played the keys and bass guitar. I've been working with T-Pain the last couple years. I helped produce his last album. But doing that show, I had a couple of mental breakdowns. I almost felt like it was too soon for me to try to come back outside to work. My anxiety was out the roof. I saw different guys backstage I didn't know and got scared. I wondered where the security was. It made me very uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling wondering if someone was there to attack me. It was just hard for me to do my job comfortably. It's definitely been challenging for sure. Last year, I was touring arenas around the US. This year, I've only done a total of 3 gigs. It's hard. This has got me in a place where I don't know what's next. I feel like there's more music and creativity in me, but then I feel like maybe my career is over. The music business feels so corrupted. I've been writing. I have a couple of albums, but the truth is I'm nervous. Then the interviewer says, for a person whose brand is Love Records. Oh, I'm sorry. I already read that part. Now, the interviewer says, is it an overstatement to say that you feel blackballed? He says it's not an overstatement. It's correct. It feels like there are so many people quietly rooting for Diddy, or maybe they're rooting for me and just scared to say something. Here I am standing up for justice for what I believe is right for my life, and I'm being punished for it. I'm blackballed for sure. I've had many nights and weeks and months of taking myself out, is what he says. He's had the thoughts of doing these things to himself. It's the music that has kept me living all my life. The interviewer says, what do you want people to know about your situation? Why speak out now? He says, for some reason, our culture worships Diddy and his billionaire status. They don't want to see him fall because they're living vicariously through him. They have to understand that Diddy was no god. He's nothing more than a shrewd, crooked businessman. He's stolen publishing for years. He's nothing but a thief. He has no soul. He lives off of other people's gifts and talents. This is all true. I haven't heard a lie yet, as he's saying about Diddy. Okay, he lives off of other people's gifts and talents. It's not a human way to live. My name is all over the Love album credits. So I had to have done some producing. It got a Grammy nomination, and I'm sitting here doing nothing, unable to work. This isn't right. Now, they say in his amended lawsuit, Jones alleges he had a verbal contract with Diddy promising him $20,000 and 4 royalty points per song, as well as credit as a producer, credit for each instrument played and publishing rights to his work. He also alleges that he's produced 9 songs on the Love album and hasn't been compensated for his work. Now, when reached for comment, a spokesperson for Diddy said no such agreement was reached. He says Mr. Jones was hired as a session musician and sound engineer for the Love album and was fully compensated for his contribution. Now, the rep further pointed Rolling Stone to a prior statement from Diddy regarding his decision in the last few years to return publishing rights to his bad boy artists and writers, saying no other company has taken the steps that I have taken to give publishing rights back to artists. This is about fairness, integrity, and acknowledging the contribution these artists made in the culture. This is what Diddy said in the statement. First of all, I want you all to pay attention. Diddy only offered the publishing back to these artists recently, okay, like last year sometime. And that's because he knew what was coming. Because let's not forget that before Cassie filed the lawsuit, there had been 6 months, allegedly about 6 months of negotiations where they couldn't reach an agreement. And so she filed the lawsuit. So Diddy knew that he was going to be sued by Cassie, and he knew that things were going to come out. And so he didn't want his artists, former artists, talking about or discussing these things. So that was the whole thing. He offered the publishing back under the, basically if they would sign non-disclosure saying that they wouldn't say anything about him or his family. So the Hollywood Bowl show was good for you, despite your anxiety, the interviewer asked. Yes, it reminded me who I was and what's kept me breathing all these years. It was second nature. I hadn't been doing live music for months and jumped right back on stage like I never left. I was outside of the fear, but you have to have extra working. You have to have extra patience with other performers. I didn't have the attitude. I didn't have the attitude I like to have when I'm working with other people. I was worried that if someone made a mistake, I would be on them. The reality was I just wanted my first show back to be perfect. I rehearsed everybody 12 hours a day. Afterward, my mind fell back into a trauma state. I didn't want to walk to the bathroom without somebody being with me. What are you hoping for moving forward? The interview asked. He says, I'm hoping once I drop my album that people support it. I hope that people get back to the reality of my music and my talent. Anybody who knows me knows it's real and it's raw talent. Diddy is the executive producer who has the money. It takes him months sometimes just to cut 8 bars. What? It takes Diddy 8 months to cut, or takes him months sometimes to cut 8 bars. Really? Let me continue. I could pick up a bass right now and play it. I could pick up a keyboard right now and play it. I could play 13 instruments and can sing and rap and produce. And I'm sitting around and can't get a deal. I just hope all this turns around for me so I can get back to doing the music that I love. It's killing me. It's taking me out. It's taking me out not doing it. So anyway, that's what he had to say. That's what he had to say. And mind you, they say he had his attorney on the phone, Tyrone Blackburn, as he was speaking. So, it sounds like he's traumatized. And yeah, he has 3 therapists. I can imagine how he feels. Dad Crazy Beach Air said that's so messed up for him. Yes, it has to be very discouraging. Now, you've worked all your life to get to where you are, and now someone can snatch it all away simply because you spoke the truth. And here's the thing, though. Lil Rod should never have made that alleged verbal contract with somebody like Diddy. First of all, you don't make oral contracts, okay, when there's money involved, when money is supposed to exchange hands. I know that oral or verbal contracts are legally binding, but it's your word against theirs. If you don't have any other proof, if it's not recorded, you don't have a witness, it's your word against theirs. Now, Diddy and his people are claiming that he was paid, but I doubt it. I don't think they paid him. And at the end of the day, he should never have taken that contract with Diddy being oral because he already knows that Diddy has robbed other artists in the past. I would never trust someone like him with an oral contract. Honey, in fact, he'd have had to pay me half of the money up front. Okay, he'd have had to write out a thorough contract. I'd have to have my attorneys look over it. And then, well, I wouldn't have to have attorneys look over it because I know the law very well. But I'm just saying, he should have had his attorneys look over it and then at least requested a percentage of the money up front. That's what I would have done with Diddy because he is a snake. Okay, and we all know that. Leon said exactly 100, okay? Greta said never make an oral contract. Exactly. Now, in other Diddy news, now listen to this. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Before I get into this next topic, let us have a word from my sponsor. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so you can get your 12 Tribes hair oil from Etsy. Go to Lisa Crafts and also at Walmart.com. Now, for those of you who follow the backup channel, I just dropped the link for the next broadcast, which starts in about 10 minutes. And we have got to talk about this Karen who had a threesome with 2 black men and then lied and said they raped her. Okay, please pay attention. And one of them was a police officer. Claims he lost everything and now he wants to sue. Okay, so now, former bad boy president's alleged victim fights to stay anonymous due to fearing for her life. So Harve Pierre wants a New York judge to force the sexual assault accuser to reveal her identity, which her lawyer called a scare tactic. Now, Harve Pierre's anonymous assault victim listed only as Jane Doe. She does not want to tell who she is. Now, I want you all's opinion on this, because do you all think that she should be forced to reveal her identity, or should she be able to remain anonymous? Okay, now, it's important to note that Diddy is not directly accused in this case. Moreover, defense attorneys sought to have a New York judge to force Doe to divulge her identity in her case against Bad Boy Records and former label president Harve Pierre. They say defendant's motion is nothing more than a scare tactic and ploy to deter litigation against an already crumbling empire that can no longer hide behind the smoke screens of its money, power, and fame. That's what her attorney, Jeffrey Anderson, said. Now, for those unaware, this suit accuses Harve Pierre of sexually assaulting Jane Doe on various occasions between 2016 and 2017. The 2023 suit identifies her only as his former assistant. It also accuses Bad Boy Records of negligence, and the suit against them claims that they enabled Harve Pierre's alleged behavior. Now, because of my former employees' power and influence, I fear that I will be harassed and ridiculed if my identity was made public in connection with these claims. This is what Jane Doe says. I am concerned for my physical safety and the safety of my family. Now, they say, this is a source of shame and embarrassment for me, she says. Should my identity be made public, I risk negative repercussions to my employment due to the stigma associated with being a victim of assault. I fear others will view me negatively and my reputation will be negatively impacted. My mental health will suffer if I was forced to disclose my identity publicly. I should not have to be subjected to further harm in my efforts to seek accountability for what was done to me. Now, Jane Doe has reportedly not told her family about the lawsuit or about Harve Pierre's alleged crimes. She hopes the court will sympathize with her reasoning and keep her identity anonymous, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, in other bad boy news, new public documents recently revealed that Diddy invested in Elon Musk. Well, we already talked about that days ago. So what do you all think? What do you all think? Do you all think that she should be forced to reveal herself or should be allowed to remain anonymous? Once, if you think that she needs to reveal herself. Twos, if you think that she should be able to remain anonymous. Let's see what you all have to say. Ones, if she should remain anonymous. One, if she should be forced to reveal herself, and 2, if she should remain anonymous. Okay, I see some 2s. Some people saying 1s. It's looking like back and forth. It's looking like half and half. Okay, it's looking like half and half. Some people are saying reveal yourself. Some people are saying remain anonymous. Okay, so it looks like a split decision on this one. Looks like a split decision on this one. Her life could be in danger if she does. Well, here's the thing. By the fact that she's supposedly his former assistant, unless he's assaulted numerous former assistants, he should know who she is. He should know who this woman is. Pretty Wing says the accused has the right to know their accuser. This is true too, beloved. You're absolutely right. Okay, under the 6th Amendment, you have the right to confront your accuser. Now, he'll, of course, be able to confront her in court. But does she have to put her name out there for the public? Does she have to put her name out there for the public? I don't think so. At the end of the day, like I said, unless he's done this to multiple assistants, then he should know absolutely who this woman is, okay? I think this is a tactic just to shame and humiliate her. That's just what I think it is, okay? So anyway, Timber Dan says he's torn. Greta says, Rodney, I can't hide you. Hold on, Rodney, I can't ride with you being a woman. She is thinking of her family and her life as her life is in danger. Roddy, I can't ride with you. Who's Roddy, Greta? What are you talking about? You talking about Lil Rod? You can't ride with him, but the woman should remain anonymous? I'm confused about it. But yeah, I think she should be able to remain anonymous. Okay, Perplex says, a person has a right to know with whom is making allegations against them. One has a right to know their accuser, in my humblest opinion. Okay. Greta says he knows who she is. She does not have to say her name. Well, I'm going to have to agree with Greta Lee, because here's the thing, like I just told you all, he knows who she is. She was his former assistant. So how does he not know who she is? And like I said, unless he did this to multiple assistants. Okay. Re-educated Soul said these people ain't trying to get Kid Cudi. Exactly. Oh, Greta said Roddy is in the chat, Queen. So, okay, I was like, who is Roddy? Okay, thank you, beloved. Okay, Terry said if the threats are credible, she can remain anonymous. Okay. Timber Dan says, is there a way for the accused to know, but for her name to not be made public? Yes, exactly. I think he knows already, beloved, because like I said, she used to work for him. Okay, Kevin Witter said, face-to-face in court, but not on paper. Exactly. He's going to see her in court regardless. And he's going to know who she is. So I don't see any reason for her to have to put her name on paperwork. And also, at the end of the day, he's likely just trying to frighten her, humiliate her, shame her, or whatever. That's just what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Okay. Super Chucky B says, if she kept silent, she could easily be exited without a trace. That's a thought. Now, that is a thought, beloved, and a very good point. Are y'all listening? That is a good point, that she could be exited without a trace. Okay? Super Chucky B says that if she doesn't tell who she is, she could get taken up out of here, and we wouldn't know who she was. Because Harvey Pierre, I'm pretty sure he knows who it is. I'm pretty sure he knows who it is, okay? Unless he was just in the habit, like I said, of doing this on a regular basis. So with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, okay? Re-educated Soul said, yes, good point, absolutely. TC Dan says, very thought-provoking comments. Okay, so listen, I love you all to life. I hope y'all enjoyed this broadcast. I'm going to be out of here. Okay, so once again, the link for the next broadcast is in the chat. Okay, we're going to be talking about this Karen who had this threesome, then lied about it on the 2 black men. And then also Susan Smith. Do you all remember Susan Smith, who murdered her own kids by letting the car roll into the lake and then lied and said a black man did it? Well, now she's requesting parole and her ex is vowing to fight against it. Okay, and then also more about Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, on the stand. He is so nefarious. And also, a woman died from a BBL. So we got to get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. With that all been said, Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got